Hey, what's up, you guys? It's me, Derek, the review, back again with another video. So we have our first trailer for Star Wars Maul Shadow Lord, which is an upcoming Star Wars spin-off with Darth Maul in the same animation as the Clone Wars, which I could say, funny enough, that the Clone Wars animation is still going on. Not gonna lie, I thought after Bad Batch, this whole story was gonna be done, and the fact that I'm like, okay, everything wrapped into a bow, I guess this Clone Wars style is done, and it'd be cool if we saw another animated show like this, but we're getting it now. And the fact that Darth Maul is going to be the lead for this one, it's telling me that this is going to be taking place a bit after the Clone Wars finale, but also tells me it's going to be like the setup for him leading from here to where Ezra found him in the cave. At this point, he's going to be dealing with the Undergrounds and the Empire. Also, finding out the fact that I feel like, yeah, it is going to connect a little bit to the wider Star Wars universe because I know that with Rebels, we got reintroductions to characters like Thrawn, and the Clone Wars animation did kind of bring in some of the characters we saw in later movies like Solo, to the point where Darth Maul even showed up in Solo, and I thought, oh, are we going to see more on that? But nothing came of it. Sam Witwer's returning, and let me just say, that guy knows his Star Wars stuff, and it's kind of cool to seeing as though, yeah, I knew him at first as, I wouldn't say a canon character, but I hope he's canon at some point, Star Killer, and the fact that he was also Darth Maul doing the voice, I thought, he can do the voice, but is he gonna be like unhinged as he was in the Clone Wars series? Because through all the episodes he was in, the fact that Darth Maul even came back in the Clone Wars was a surprise. Because I thought, oh, he's dead after Phantom Menace and after all the stuff he's been through, and the character development from here to Rebels, I thought, yeah, he's a tragic story. Where I thought, yeah, he thought he was actually gonna rule the world with Darth Sidious, and yeah, who knows? He really didn't expect what was coming. I know Star Wars has had a little bit of a bad rap since there's been a change in direction. Kathleen Kennedy's gone, so yeah, South Park was right in actually making decisions like that. And seeing as though we actually get Dave Filoni in charge this time, where I'm like, yeah, he knows his Star Wars stuff, and the fact that George Lucas put him in charge of the Clone Wars series, to the fact where he actually taught him everything he knows about the lore, and seeing as though, okay, we're going to be dealing with Darth Maul as the lead, and I guess our first actual Sith show, because we almost had one with the Acolyte until, yeah, that's something we feel like we don't need to mention, and the fact that that's basically Disney's Star Wars version of actually doing Star Wars, rather than just sticking to roots and actually saying, oh, the High Republic. No, 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 no. That's not what we like. We want the Old Republic. The Knights of the Old Republic, to be specific. I don't want to get into too much because that's another discussion for another time. So, in that case, let's get to the trailer.
Times have changed. I will show you the galaxy for what it truly is. See things from a new perspective.
Is this what our future holds? Always running.
The art style looks
I
a bit
invite you
more
to look more
updated.
closely.
What are we dealing with?
Good question. And I offer you an opportunity.
Almost akin to Darth Vader's scene in Rogue One.
Maul.
We have all been made to suffer. We survive, but do not live.
Like some of the violence so far that is actually just lightsabers on lightsabers.
Chains can be broken.
Hang on!
And empires can be shattered.
Oh, that's tough. From what I'm seeing, I kind of like how this show, compared to the other ones, feels like it's more grounded in the fact that, yeah, you have a couple lightsaber fights lying around, but I feel like Yeah, some of the I wouldn't say Order 66 is a big factor because you got to remember also we've seen what it was like being seeing Jedi being hunted down because I feel like yeah, Order 66 is done in all media Star Wars fashion. But we actually haven't seen what it would be like for the Sith because yeah, we already have Sith users out there, but the fact that what if you see an actual Sith user, but the fact that it's like, wait a minute, we're supposed to be dead, right? I feel like Dark Sidious is supposed to be the main one running us. And seeing that there are a couple Inquisitors in this trailer also, which made me think, oh, so these guys started out early right after Order 66. Something with this trailer I also kind of appreciate is the fact that the Clone Wars art style, you could look at it when it started out in 2008 to now to seeing as though, yeah, every season or I guess every interpretation feels like it has a good, decent update. Not only to the fact that when it got canceled, I thought, okay, the show is done, and that's the last we're going to be seeing of that until they brought back Rebels, and I thought, oh, we're going to be seeing that art style again, and it looks garbage for the most part. The show's decent, but it's just the art style. I'm not a big huge fan of it. When they brought it back for a final season, actually kept the art style, I was like, okay, that's cool. And when they continued that off in Bad Batch and Tales of the Jedi and Tales of the Sith, it made me think, yeah, this Clone Wars style ain't going nowhere. And with every season and show, there's a little minute improvement where I think, you know what? This art style, I wouldn't even mind if this is the main Star Wars animated style. Also, unrelated, but I feel like it has to be made a point. The fact that this show, I don't know if anybody remembers this, but it feels like the one canceled show that was going to be a show or one of the canceled projects that George Lucas had in mind. Like back before the sequel trilogy, there was a show that was going to be made in the Star Wars universe that was called Star Wars Underground that was going to be dealing with everything after Order 66, mostly taking place on Coruscant. It was going to be like the lower scaled underground crime world. It seems like a bit of that influence is going to be here in this show, seeing as though, yeah, Darth Maul has been running the criminal underground when we see him in Rebels and in Solo. So I'm like, is this going to be the start of this whole thing? Is this going to be like his own solo journey when he does this whole thing? Like, I know we see a Twilight Force user. I don't even know if that's going to be his underling or somebody he's going to be teaching along the way. All I can say is the trailer looks good, and it's finally good to see some good Star Wars content nowadays. All right, guys, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. All my social media is down in the description below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.